Update, I would like to talk about a few things. First one is just my reflection on why doctors say that this ENS condition is very rare. You see this everywhere online. If you search on Wikipedia, everywhere, many doctors say, well, basically that's what the majority of, if you're in the medical world, is saying this happens only very rarely. It's like accidentally, if you want, which I believe is a lie. Then I'm going just to talk about my condition, the feeling of suffocation, just an update on this. As perhaps you noticed, I did move back to the basement apartment, and I left that city because it was the place I was renting there was just getting too hot in summertime. I could not put an AC because the AC also dries the air, which is the worst part, or the worst thing that may happen: dry air and hot air, warm air. So right now I'm back in the basement where the air temperature and humidity is very stable, because it's a basement, so I don't heat it in winter, or very little. I use a tiny heater which doesn't dry the air as the baseboard ones. The baseboard destroyed the humidity in the air, and this is what caused me this winter. Like I said a few months ago, I started to heat up my room, was winter time, with a baseboard heater, and the air got dry, and after about 2 months, there's a video about this, I did notice that my digestion was completely blocked. I went very low weight, so I went down. I'm not used to imperial numbers, but I went down to about 60 kilos or so, and I'm 6 feet tall, so still I'm about 6 kilos now. That was due to digestion, basically because the body, the lungs, because of dry air, and they lose blood volume, the plasma in the blood, and from the low blood volume in the body, there's plenty of other secondary issues, including digestion. The digestion no longer works. So, and also I believe those 2 months when I did use the baseboard heater just damaged my lungs even more, so it doesn't look like it's reversible. At least it's been 6 months now. I don't see any improvement, so we went from worse to really worse. And I say in other videos, I just try to review a little bit, just a summary a bit. Maybe people are watching this video without watching other videos on my channel. I say right now I need to basically spend the day, the whole time in this apartment. I have several ways to keep a high humidity, relative humidity. So if you consider temperature is around 23 to 24 Celsius, for this temperature the relative humidity has to be above 70 to 80, not too much, because then it can cause mildew, mold, other problems, but has to stay very high, and this is just to compensate the condition of lungs. If there is, now it's summertime and we got hot summertime, if I would just stay outside outdoors in a hot summer day with low humidity, let's say 40% humidity, it's just going to destroy my next night. So I just basically I run away from heat. Mind you, at night the humidity appears to be, outdoor humidity appears to be much higher than during the day when the sun is hitting the environment. So at night the humidity, if I check on internet, stays outside at 80% plus, whereas in the afternoon with sunny day it drops to 30%. 30%, 40%, which is I just cannot take it. And I still keep drinking water as usual. Anyway, so I'm back in this basement where the temperature is pretty constant, 23, 24 Celsius. And this is just what I need now. So I cannot stay on the upper floors where the room gets heated by the sun. Even if I would have an AC, that will help, but I didn't try. But because the AC does remove humidity in the air, so I cannot keep high humidity and cold air with an AC air conditioner. Anyways, that's just the situation right now. And just wanted to say, I was last night having my usual insomnia. This means several hours of not sleeping, and actually the sleep did deteriorate. Now sometimes I have to sleep through the day, so when I breathe badly at night, I will have to sleep through the day as well, which didn't happen before. So anyway, I was thinking about this, the fact that doctors say it's a rare condition, and I tried to explain this in another video. And at some point I did research myself when I did a master degree in the medical, actually was biomedical engineering and medical, when I was in my younger years. So I'm used to searching articles, publications, scientific research, documentations, and read this. And I'm talking about serious articles by professionals, by doctors, and so on. And I did search about ENS condition, if you want, the spread of this condition, how often it happens. I did search if there are articles online, studies done. So you take maybe 1,000 people who had turbinate reduction. And by the way, this is going to be, I think, a long video, just up to you to watch or not, probably 1 hour plus. So I was saying that if you want to know how many people have ENS after the turbinate surgery, you just take maybe 1,000 people or 500 or 200, so it depends on the study. And you just do a questionnaire, do you suffer from this, that, symptoms, and so on. And I did start a search on internet. You don't really have entire articles, like the whole study with the results and stuff, but you oftentimes have an abstract or a title, because there are medical publications, the bigger ones, where all the people involved in the research are just publishing their studies results. And those publications are available online, so if there is an article about the subject, you will find it. You will see there are or aren't. So I did search how many studies have been done on this spread of ENS. Obviously, we are talking, I'm in Canada, so we are talking about mostly results from, I think, North America and Europe. So you also have South America, Asia, Africa, Australia. These are less accessible on Google because Google will return, or a search engine will return mostly local results in your continent, mostly from what I've seen. Anyway, so the result, what I find out is there are almost no studies that did try to find out how common is the ENS condition. I could find a study done in Europe, I forgot the name of the country, at one clinic, just one clinic, where I'm guessing there are 1, 2, or 3 doctors who do this sort of intervention. So, and also the study was, don't recall exactly the number of people, 100 to 500 persons with the subject done the surgery. So it's basically in the whole world over the maybe 50 years that these surgeries have been performed. It's just one country, one clinic, a few doctors, or maybe just one doctor. The study didn't mention the number of doctors involved. their patients, the person that they did operate, they had surgery. And so it's a really tiny amount of all the people that had their turbinate reduction done all over the world throughout, I guess. I'm not sure where this started, these surgeries, but I'm just throwing a guess, maybe in the 70s, 1970s, wild guess. So it's been at least 50 years of this kind of surgery intervention. So it's a tiny study, and then I found there were two more studies which were not clear about. They were trying to find out exactly persons with ENS, more like the persons were satisfied with the results. So it was not exactly focusing on the ENS condition to see if people with turbinate reduction got this condition after the surgery. So basically what I could find is there are no I like to say basically almost no research done. There is almost no research done, at least in Europe, North America, done to find out, I mean research by specialists, right? We are talking medical world. This is not like influenza or something random. This is very, very serious. And when we talk about people who do research, most of the times these are obviously going to be doctors with long experience, but also doctors who work with students doing master's degree, PhD. They get these doctors get financed by various organizations. So these studies, when they exist for various subjects in the medical world, is something very serious. So it seems there are almost no studies. And then I guess you already ask yourself the question, but why does the medical world say ENS is very rare when there are no studies to show that? You cannot just say it's very rare without study, right? We are talking even in engineering or many, many other areas, professions, but especially in the medical world, it's impossible to say we think the picture is this way if there are no, without studies. You just cannot, it's not acceptable to say that, right? You cannot invent things. So why is the medical world saying this is rare where there appears to be no studies to show it's rare? Pause. I try to find an answer to this, and I think I've got one. And maybe you are going to call me conspirationist. I think it's pretty trendy to call people this way when it seems to go against the flow, against what the society is saying generally. So I think one possible answer why the medical world is saying ENS is rare, and also why there, because this is interesting, why there are no studies, almost no studies. Why? Because this is such a traumatic condition that, I mean, if you are doing research, right, the way it goes, you are a doctor and want to, you actually, when you are a doctor, you are searching for research subjects. So you are really, it's like trying to make money basically. So a doctor will strive to find topics, subjects, to do a study on it, then to publish, and then to get recognitions. That's how it works in the research world. So how come there are no research on studies done on such an, such a strong subject, such a powerful subject, such a traumatic condition? Why there is no research done? It just doesn't make sense. This would be like you should have doctors or researchers just begging to do studies like this, and there are none, or almost none. Well, there may be an explanation, and I'm saying it's something logical to me. I didn't read about this somewhere. I don't have proof or something. It just makes logic to me. imagine the medical world. It's something that it's very powerful. I'm not sure if everybody is aware, but those associations which are managing maybe what's being taught in medical schools, they are managing the, I don't know, we call this the order of doctors. It's like the same thing with order of electricians, engineers, and anything like this. So these are powerful associations, and because doctors have high incomes and also have a very strong leverage in the society. Take for instance someone like a cardiologist, right? You get a prime minister has a problem with his heart, he goes to the best cardiologist, the cardiologist saves his life, then that cardiologist is a powerful person in the society because he can really just, has leverage, right? Can save your life. So doctors associations are powerful in our society, even more so in the United States, where there is a lot of money with anything, just if you want, just even with just tools for medicines and so on. So the medical world is very powerful, and what happens, I believe, is that from the beginning this condition, this intervention in the nostrils was not correctly explained in the medical schools. And it's not me who's saying this, it's a doctor which I put in one of my videos, a doctor which does this surgery, who said it's his expression, this intervention is not standardized. So maybe people don't understand what this word means. It means the school where the future doctors do learn how to do this intervention simply does not or did not tell them until at some point in time, did not tell, hey, you need to remove only this amount, this structure, this way, right? Otherwise you just wreck the person's life. It seems this is not what was being done in the medical schools for a very long time, decades. We don't know on which areas has been done the most problematic way, maybe around the world, who knows. So this means there are many promotions, many basically hundreds and thousands of doctors who do this surgery, who learned this surgery, well, actually who didn't learn the surgery the right way, who did perform the surgeries the wrong way. So what happens then is that, let's imagine the medical world accepts one day that ENS is widespread and it's really traumatic. There are two things that will happen at that point. First, if you are in the United States, you know where I'm going, lawsuits, big time lawsuits. If you have a person who has his life basically torn down and he's suing the doctor or the doctor associations, whatever, who is guilty, it's not going to be $100,000 if you are in the United States, right? I think it's going to be in the many millions of dollars. I don't know how much the lawyers are going to remove from the pockets of doctors, or actually from the insurance of the doctors, but it's going to be a lot of money. And if there are many people with ENS suing each of them, let's say there are 1,000 people with ENS, or maybe 10,000, maybe 100,000, they are each going to sue for maybe 5 millions, 10 millions, 20 millions, just throwing numbers, because it's a serious condition that's disabling the entire remaining of the life of a person, including not able to work, for instance. So just multiply those numbers. It's big money. So if the medical world would accept, would just admit this is a widespread problem and a serious problem, they are going to get strike, or at least their insurance companies, they are going to get strike with big payments. Think about perhaps the tobacco lawsuits, right, or something like that. So it's going to be really a big trouble for the insurance company who is paying for this and who is insuring the doctors and so on. So this is one possible reason why the medical world is quieting down the reality of intense ENS widespread. This is one of the things that to me, it explains perfectly why doctors have this tendency, trend to say it's rare without having any studies, why there are no studies being done, or almost no studies being done to show the truth, the reality of how spread is this condition. And also perhaps why they don't want to just tell the doctors, hey, stop doing the wrong way, just stop doing the wrong surgery altogether, or try to just go back to school and learn the correct way. So this is going to be another problem. I said the first problem is going to be lawsuits, and the second problem is you have probably, I'm just imaging numbers, and most often times I talk about North America, but obviously it's going to be all over the world the same, or almost the same. So imagine you have maybe in North America, in United States, you have, let's say 2,000, let's say 1,000 doctors who are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, who didn't learn the right way to do this surgery. Maybe not all of them, but let's say a part of them didn't learn the right way to do this surgery, so they are damaging their patients. You just cannot tell those doctors, you have two choices. Tell them just stop doing the surgery completely, this intervention, turbinate reduction, or go back to take some classes and take some practice, which is very long. To learn a procedure may take months or years of practice. You just cannot take someone 50 years old from his office, go back in school, and just for the next 6, 8 months practice with another surgeon who's doing it the right way, learn again. It just doesn't work like this, I think, because, you know. And also I would just want to say that this is, in my opinion, one of the questions that you see oftentimes on internet is, which procedure should I try? What's the safer way? I don't want to repeat myself. I have a video where one of the doctors who's doing these surgeries explains very clearly what is acceptable to do without causing problems. But my feeling, because if you look perhaps on pictures, what's inside the nostrils, those turbinates, which have a I'm not sure if it's a name in English, cornet, perhaps it's not, it's French perhaps, but they have a very special geometry. We have a spongy bone, and then this bone is covered with a mucosa, but there is a very special geometry. So the whole question is, how do you actually reduce this geometry without changing the geometry, just kind of shrinking, like downscaling the entire geometry without touching the mucosa, without cutting the mucosa, just reducing that bone. To me, just trying to figure this out, this is a very delicate intervention. This is a piece of art, if you want. I think it takes talent, even though a surgeon has skills, has a steady hand, has those tiny camera, tiny instruments that get inside. I think that touching, trying to reduce those turbinates to improve the airflow, it's a very fiddly surgery. Remember that the turbinates go deep inside the nostrils, about, I don't know, 3-4 inches deep inside, and you only have access through the nostril opening, which is very small. So you need to use cameras and so on. But even so, the geometry of the turbinates, it's in such way that to my mind, it's actually, I don't really see how do you actually shrink that thing without affecting the other structures, such as mucosa, and without changing the geometry. So all this to say that this intervention, at the very bottom of it, in my opinion, has to be, if you want, from a skill point of view, has to be perhaps one of the most difficult surgery in the entire body. And I really mean this thing. I mean, compared to the brain surgery, heart surgery, and other surgery that we do. It's really perhaps something that takes not just skill but almost talent. It's like an artist somehow to do this in a safe way and still get a result. So this is maybe the reason all I'm saying here is just logic, right? It's that I don't have a source or something. This difficulty may be the reason why in the medical world, in the medical schools, perhaps up until recently, they were telling, at least in some countries, they were telling the future doctors, the students, medical students, they were telling just go ahead and remove, go a little bit rough, just remove whatever is in there to make airflow. Perhaps it was so difficult or too difficult to learn the correct approach, the correct procedure, and to perform it correctly. Perhaps it's too difficult, and even in the future, perhaps there are going to be, I'm just guessing, because of difficulty of this intervention, there are going to be few doctors who are able to do it correctly. That's not, if what I'm saying is true, it's just a theory. What I'm saying here, a supposition. If what I'm saying is true, just it may mean that this problem, ENS, will never go away. It will continue in the future, even if the world is getting aware that this is a really terrible possible outcome, the ENS condition. So that's some sort of a reality, despite the we are living in modern times. We have those instruments which are really performant and advanced, technically advanced, but we should not assume that everything in our body it's easy to fix, to improve, or correct in some way. So this just to wrap the question why we heard this thing, ENS is rare, why doctors perhaps still to this day are still performing the wrong way, why there are no studies or very little studies about how widespread is this condition. And just to conclude somehow, I just want to say that, remember, a doctor who maybe is not able to perform this surgery correctly, or who just learned the wrong way to perform the surgery, is going to cause ENS, in my opinion, to each of its patients, or most of its patients. Most of the people who are going to pass through the hands of that doctor are going to turn at some point in time to have empty nose syndrome condition. So this is just, be aware of this, because just imagine, like I was saying, imagine there were presently 100 doctors in the United States performing this surgery, each of them once a week, twice a week. That's maybe 50 to 100 persons each year, multiplied by 100 doctors. That gives you 5,000, I believe, 5 to 10,000 persons, and most of these persons are going to develop ENS if the procedure is wrong. So I believe the number of people with ENS, in my opinion, and just really just, I don't know, it's not a feeling, but it's more like, because of the difficulty of this intervention, may be very high actually. So there may be a lot of people with this problem. I want to now just go back to my condition, just to add a few things. So like I said, recently, because of the lungs did deteriorate even more, so I'm struggling even more to just prevent this. One of the problems that I have with this, that is the sensation. I'm hesitating to use the word suffocation, because it's something else. It's really something else. The sensation of suffocation, which to me happens only at nighttime, when I wake up at nighttime. I think I did describe in other videos, but there are a few moments when I wake up at nighttime, and I think it's important, and it's also somehow interesting to try to express exactly what is the feeling that I call suffocation. I don't know if others have the same sensation, but I did say in other videos that when this happens, when I wake up at night, I just feel like the body no longer breathes. Really, the lungs no longer, move, I don't know, inflate, deflate, or something like this. And if I don't consciously, just with my mind, if I don't control myself, my lungs, it just feels like the body stopped completely breathing, which is something, it's really paradoxal, because I don't think I was, I don't think this is instant. I think this is a condition that also happens when I'm asleep, and I'm not dying. If the body stops breathing, I would be dead fast, I guess. But I guess the body still breathes somehow. I don't know. I just cannot monitor this during sleep. But when I wake up, like I said, if I don't control my lungs, it just doesn't want to move, doesn't want to breathe. And this is for very long seconds. And at some point, I would take a deep breath. That would be the reflex of the body, to take a deep breath. It's very strange. And also, I have to say that at these moments, I always have a very strong anxiety. There's two things at the same time. Another thing with this is when I try to breathe, so let's say I feel like the body is not breathing, I try to breathe and I try to get air inside my lungs. So I will do an inhalation like this. It's strange. It feels like the air doesn't go inside the lungs. It feels like the lungs, let's just say, are blocked. Something is blocking here. It feels like I'm trying to blow air. I'm inhalating, but I'm trying to blow air into a bottle that has a cap on it. So it's not fun. The feeling, it's not fun. Plus that anxiety, but just this feeling that you cannot get air inside your lungs, it's not fun. One of the things that I say in other videos is I need to stand on my feet and just stop walking, and eventually sometimes I will go outside. I really need to walk outside. Hopefully it's not too warm, the weather, and that kind of perhaps gets my blood starts moving again through the body, or gets my heart pumping again the blood through the body, including through lungs. And then after, depends on the moment, sometimes it's faster, sometimes may take several minutes or more. Then only then I feel the air gets into my lungs and I start breathing normally. So it feels like I'm just trying to, I did try to find an explanation for this, and I did say that this seems to me like the blood volume in the body, it's so low. It's low, so we have usually a fixed amount, more or less fixed amount. I would guess, depends on the person, 4 to 5 quarts of blood in the entire body. And I'm guessing that what happens is the lungs are having a low volume of blood at that moment when I feel that suffocation, and perhaps the gas exchange simply doesn't happen, or something like this. That's one of the explanations. The other explanation that I put in some videos is there is a misinterpretation of the brain, because there are we have these neuron cells, sensory cells, which sense the airflow, and these cells don't function, or actually malfunction at that moment, and maybe that's what disrupts the breathing of the lungs. It's not very professional or scientific what I'm saying here. I just try to put these words together. I'm not a professional, and also I don't really know the actual cause, the actual explanation. It's just guessing. But also when there is this suffocation part, the throat, the mouth is very, very dry. I need to take water right away, to drink water right away, not a large amount, but at least just to humidify my throat, my tongue, my mouth, and that usually helps. If the feeling of suffocation is not too strong, just humidifying my mouth with water, that helps feeling that I'm breathing again. But sometimes it's not enough. I need to walk and kind of keep walking like this. So I did say this in other videos that I believe low blood volume simply it's no longer distributed normally to some of the organs, and perhaps the lungs are one of these. And also this suffocation moment at night would happen if I would eat something that's perhaps later in the day, or one of the foods that takes more to digest. So perhaps there is more blood towards the intestine for digestion and less inside my lungs. So this kind of trouble, it's getting more sensitive, got more sensitive since the problem with the lungs. Yes, the recent problem with, like I said, those 2 months of heating in winter time. So it's more struggle now, and unfortunately that's how it is, and I have nothing, there's no win back, rewind of situations like this. And we're going to just end this video with one remark, which sometimes I put a note in the comment section. So this has nothing to do with emptiness syndrome. It's just these videos on YouTube. I want to say that some of these videos I try to transfer them to, I have an account on Rumble, RUMBLE, I think, Rumble. It's a different name, Spreaket or something like this, that account on Rumble. But the reason for this is that I just feel, I no longer feel comfortable with YouTube. Why? Because YouTube calls me and other people who upload videos creators, and we at some point we had control over the ads that are run on these videos. And oftentimes I think on the videos on ENS I try to disable the ads, just because it's a subject that, it's a suffering. I don't want to get money from something like this, and it's just kind of respect for the people who are watching. Unfortunately, from what I've seen through the last years, and I think this is going to get even worse, YouTube is just removing this kind of control from us over the ads that are running on the videos. So at this point, the only control I have is to have the video have just one ad at the very beginning of the video and at the end of the video, but not in the middle, somewhere in the middle of the video. So there should be no ads playing in once you start the video. However, YouTube took away the control of what kind of ads we place at the beginning of the video. Till now I was placing, I think it was 6-second skippable ads. Now we lost this control as well. So YouTube will play sometimes 15 seconds ads on the beginning of the video, which I think it's too long, just too long, and it's I dislike that myself, even though it gives me some money, but I just dislike it's too long. But I think even that is going to get worse. At some point, I believe YouTube is going to put force on all videos, regardless of what the creators would like. Force on all videos, ads in the middle of videos, many ads, not just one in the middle. So we call this mid-roll ads. So at some point these videos, all this to say that at some point these videos, even this one on ENS, may get just, I like to say, riddled with ads, which is horrible. This is one of the reasons why I'm trying to shift my videos to another platform. Rumble doesn't play mid-roll ads, I believe, and they play very little ads at the beginning. Sometimes 6 seconds, sometimes 12 seconds. This is one of the things. The second thing, I'm going to, again, like I said, these videos, maybe the older ones on ENS are different. Maybe they have ads. I don't remember exactly. But the later, maybe the later videos that I made on ENS topic, the videos from maybe 2 years ago till today, usually I disable all the ads on the video. However, because this is YouTube, unfortunately, if I disable the ads, we say we are not turning the ads off, but this is actually what I'm not sure. That's why I need, actually, I'm talking about these things. I'd like to have your feedback. Just put a comment in the section, comment section, to let me know, because I cannot play back my own video. I don't see these things. So I'm going to demonetize this video, well, actually turn off the ads. But if you still see ads, playing ads in these ENS videos on my channel, just please let me know if there are mid-roll ads in the middle of the video, in the beginning of the video. If you are on mobile, on a phone, or maybe on Windows PC, just let me know. Just tell me, quick comment, yes, there are ads playing this much in your videos with ENS. Just let me know. At that moment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just make a decision, right, about this. Just let me know, give me a feedback. It's very tiny, it takes you a few seconds to tell me this, and just to help me manage the situation in some way. Okay, so I just give you hearts. I don't know how to say this properly and decently. God bless you, or I don't like to say God bless you. I know Americans, I'm Christian, by the way, but I know in America you see a president saying God bless you. I'm from a different culture, from a different church, from an Orthodox Christian church, which is same like a Russian church. And we never say God bless you. We say may God help you, because we don't give. I'm not the one who gives the blessing. If you want, God is giving the blessing. So I don't know how to say this. Hopefully God will help you. Or if you don't believe, still I just wish you strength. Wish you, courage through this, right? And don't hesitate to ask anything, or just comment in the comment section, and wish everything goes. I'm having a hard time saying the best for you, because I know what's this condition about, but I wish you strength, at least, to just cope with that situation.